Why would a creature so bizarre defy death only to vanish into a nightmare it couldn't escape? Imagine a sea alive with whispers, where spines twist like daggers under a sky that suddenly screams fire, a world thriving yet doomed in the same breath. Fear grips you as silt chokes the water, cold seeps into your bones, and something alien writhes below. Survival feels like a lie here. How could life so strange collapse so fast? 500 million years ago, Hallucigenia emerged, its spiky form a riddle that haunted paleontologists, a dream turned terror. Was it a guardian of secrets or a victim of a truth too dark to face? The fossils pulse with a story that claws at your mind. And it's dragging you into its depths right now. Don't look away, this mystery's spines are sinking in, and you're already caught. But let's backtrack. How did this enigma even come to light? The tale begins in a place few dare to imagine, the Canadian Rockies, where the Burgess Shale hides its treasures like a locked vault. In 1911, Charles Doolittle Walcott, a man obsessed with the past, cracked open a slab and froze inside lay not bones, but soft flesh, spines, and tentacles, preserved like a ghost's last cry. This wasn't a dinosaur's domain. It was a snapshot of 508 million years ago, a time when life experimented with forms we can't comprehend. Walcott scribbled notes, labeling it a worm Canadius parsa, a mistake that echoed for decades. Picture him, lantern flickering, brushing dirt from that fossil. Did he feel the weight of a world unknown? Yet his error was just the start. The real shock came later, when science turned its lens sharper. In 1977, Simon Conway Morris dove into Walcott's finds, published in Philosophical Transactions of the Royal Society, and saw something wild: 7 pairs of spines as legs, tentacles dangling like feeding tubes, a creature upside down in our understanding. Absurd, right? But that absurdity fueled a century of debate. Imagine the gasps in that lab. Would you believe your eyes? The mystery thickened as interpretations clashed. Conway Morris speculated those tentacle tips might be mouths, each feeding a gut like a multi-headed hydra, or perhaps they passed food to a hidden maw. Either way, he wasn't sure. A cluster of shorter tentacles added to the riddle, their purpose lost in time. Picture a scientist pacing, notes strewn, wrestling with a beast that refused to fit. Does that confusion pull you in? This wasn't just a fossil. It was a challenge, a puzzle demanding answers. The stakes grew when, in 1991, Chinese fossils of a relative, Microdictyon, flipped the script. Paleontologists realized Conway Morris had it backward. The spines weren't legs, they were armor, and the tentacles, legs with claws, paired and hidden. A year later, a Nature article confirmed it, unearthing a second row of legs in Hallucigenia's holotype, buried under matrix like a secret too big to reveal. Imagine the thrill of that discovery. Would you shout or shiver? The creature's true form emerged, yet questions lingered. Where was the head? What fed that maw? The fossils tease more. And their next revelation will haunt you. Stay locked in this tale's getting stranger. Did you ever think a worm could rewrite history's wildest tales? For centuries, we've spun stories about strange relics from the deep past, but none as bizarre as the myths around Hallucigenia, a creature so odd it sounds like a fairy tale gone wrong. Early thinkers called it a dragon's spine, grinding its fossils into potions. Imagine sipping tea laced with ancient nightmares. In the 1900s, scientists laughed it off as a simple worm, a wriggling footnote, while pop culture painted prehistoric seas as playgrounds for monsters we'd never understand. Irony hits hard. How could something so tiny hold such power over our imagination? Yet these guesses, from medieval myths to Hollywood's wild swings, missed the mark entirely. In 1911, Charles Doolittle Walcott published in the Smithsonian Miscellaneous Collections, mistaking Hallucigenia for a segmented annelid, a blunder that shaped decades of confusion. But the fossils scream louder. What secrets do they hide beneath the surface? Dive deeper, the truth is clawing its way up. What if the ground itself could talk, revealing a creature too strange to believe? Imagine a rocky outcrop in the Canadian Rockies, 1911, where Charles Doolittle Walcott chipped away at the Burgess Shale, uncovering a fossil so delicate it seemed to melt under his gaze, spines like jagged knives, tentacles frozen in a ghostly dance. This wasn't bone. It was soft tissue, preserved like a scream caught in stone, a window into 508 million years ago. The shock deepened when, in 1977, Simon Conway Morris re-examined these finds in Philosophical Transactions of the Royal Society. Realizing Walcott's worm was no such thing, Hallucigenia's alien anatomy baffled even the experts. Picture holding that slab, feeling the weight of a world turned upside down. Does it send a chill through you? Fossils whispered of a creature misread, its true form buried in layers of time. But who first shaped these tales? The next twist pulls us into human hands. Can you feel the mystery tightening? Could a fossil spark a legend that outlasts empires? Long ago, humans stumbled on Hallucigenia's remains and wove stories wilder than reality. In ancient China, 2,000 years back, villagers dubbed them sea dragon bones, grinding them into elixirs. Imagine drinking a brew from a creature that defies nature. Medieval scholars in Europe saw armored spines and dreamed of knightly beasts, their tales echoing through castles. Hypothetically, did these finds inspire cave art or chants of sea-born terrors? Perhaps, in 1911, Walcott's misidentification in the Smithsonian Miscellaneous Collections fueled a century of wonder, turning a scientific error into a cultural riddle. Evidence suggests these myths mirror our like reflections in a distorted glass. But Hallucigenia wasn't just a story, it shaped its world in ways we only beginning to grasp. What role did it play? The ecological puzzle is unfolding. And it's about to shift the ground beneath you. How could a spiny oddity like Hallucigenia rule an ancient sea? Picture a Cambrian ocean, teeming yet treacherous, where this creature glided like a living paradox, spines as shields, legs like whispers, a predator in a world of chaos. Its 10-clawed limbs moved food to a toothy maw, a mouth that chewed like a grinder in the deep, while its back bristled with defenses against unseen foes. Think of it as nature's Swiss Army knife, adapting where others failed, its slender neck bending like a periscope to scan for prey. In 2015, a study in Nature revealed lobopodians like Hallucigenia stabilize early ecosystems, their scavenging balancing the food web like unseen gardeners. Imagine standing in that sea, feeling its pulse. Would you marvel at its ingenuity? Yet this balance teetered on the edge. What toppled it? The answer is surging closer. Can you hear the waves of doom? What if a world so strange could vanish without warning? 500 million years ago, Hallucigenia's ocean faced a silent killer, shifting currents, oxygen dips, and rival predators closing in, a storm no spine could weather. Imagine the water darkening, food vanishing like a mirage, its toothy maw snapping at nothing as life unraveled. In 1991, paleontologists in paleontology linked Hallucigenia's decline to the Cambrian explosion's aftermath, where competition and environmental stress outpaced its defenses. Contradiction strikes. How could something so resilient crumble so fast? Fossils show stunted growth, proof of a collapse that echoed through time. Visualize that sea, once alive with motion, now a graveyard of spines. It mirrors our own fragile balance. But why does this matter today? The final revelation is crashing down. Are you ready to face it? So, what erased Hallucigenia from the deep? Not a single blow, but a cascade competition, oxygen loss, and a world too wild to sustain it, unraveling 508 million years ago. That 1991 paleontology breakthrough peeled back the layers, showing how life's early experiments faltered, a lesson etched in every fossil. It's a mirror to us. Ecosystems teeter, climates shift, and we're part of the story. Imagine holding that spine, feeling the weight of its loss. Would you vow to protect what's left? Our curiosity drove us to dig, to question, turning bones into a tale of survival's edge. This extinction isn't just past. It's a whisper in our warming world, but the fossil record hides more shadows. Next, we hunt the Permian's silent giants. What do you think sealed Hallucigenia's fate? Drop your guess below, subscribe, and join me for the next prehistoric plunge.